as soon as we start to focus on the light, and as soon as we say, I will live in this light, this divine light with which I am born, we connect with that light, and we also identify within ourselves, is there anywhere within myself that I have identified with something other than that divine light? So those impressions will rise to the surface. We will become gradually given the opportunity to become aware. Have I been identifying with something other than divine light? And what Swami Shankarananda says is be willing to do this 100,000 times initially. Because if we have made a habit of identifying with something other than divine light, what we're doing is healing that and creating a new pathway. We're creating a new realization. This divine light is with me and within me. It is my own true nature. And so I'm giving myself that joy and that exuberance of realizing this divine light, it's been with me since before I came into this wonderful human embodiment that I'm currently in, and right now, and it will be with me always. Good morning and welcome, 1,000 welcomes. It is such a gift to be here and to meditate together. The topic we're meditating on today is divinity walking this earth. Be willing. And so both phrases are teachings from Swami Shankarananda, who founded our meditation community. Divinity walking this earth, he says, this is what's possible to see always. He says, everyone I see is divinity walking this earth. The Bhagavad Gita tells us that reality is self-revealing. Another way of putting that is our own consciousness is going to be reflected back to us. So if he says, everyone I see is divinity walking this earth, that is because he's in contact with the divinity that is within him. And so then that will be reflected back to him. And so what we are doing is reclaiming, the yogis say this is our natural birthright. It's our true nature. This energy of the divine, this energy of grace, this energy of unconditional love and joy and support with us always. And we're letting go of anything that blocks our direct felt connection to that light. And then we simply live in that light from moment to moment, right where we are, allowing that light to continue unfolding and guiding and supporting and blessing and healing and filling us with joy and laughter and exuberance. And so, Swami Shankarananda also says, this is the be willing part, that as soon as we start to focus on the light, and as soon as we say, I will live in this light, this divine light with which I am born, we connect with that light, and we also identify within ourselves, is there anywhere within myself that I have identified with something other than that divine light? So those impressions will rise to the surface. We will become gradually given the opportunity to become aware. Have I been identifying with something other than divine light? And what Swami Shankarananda says is be willing to do this 100,000 times initially. Because if we have made a habit of identifying with something other than divine light, what we're doing is healing that and creating a new pathway. We're creating a new realization. This divine light is with me and within me. It is my own true nature. And so I'm giving myself that joy and that exuberance of realizing this divine light, it's been with me since before I came into this wonderful human embodiment that I'm currently in, and right now, and it will be with me always. And so one of the things, I'm starting to share some yogic teachings from the scriptures, one of the things the yogis say is then, our own true nature will always guide us. So if you ever have a question, you're making a decision, you're deciding, what do I want to create? You're discerning, what would I like to do next? This is what the yogis say. First of all, spiritual perfection is your divine destiny. And so you don't have to wait. You can allow this spiritual perfection to unfold because it's your destiny. They also say this. This is from the Brihad Aranyaka Upanishad. As a human's desire is, so is a human's destiny. And so pay attention to what are the pure desires of my heart. What are those pure desires? And as I allow them to unfold and guide me like an arrow, they will guide me my own true nature, that divine light that is within me, will guide me to my destiny. And so the yogis say this: destiny is in the power of the invisible God and does not go astray. That God is within you. And so always support. Don't look to the left. Don't look to the right. Go straight to the divine. Go straight to that divine light. Go straight to that trust and that exuberance and that spiritual perfection, being willing 100,000 times initially to let go of any other impression that blocks the light. And so this is a really fun practice to engage in, and I'm about to share some teachings that crossed my path this week, and they both made me burst into tears in different ways. And so we'll see if they make you burst into tears as well. The first is a series of teachings from a 17th century Anglican. So he was a priest, he was a country priest in the Anglican Church, and he knew the divine very, very directly. And his name was Thomas Traherne, spelled Traherne. And this is what he says: that divine light wherewith I was born is the best unto this day, wherein I can see the universe. And so he's knowing directly, I am born with this divine light, and it helps me see the whole universe. And he was born with this awareness. I'll share with you some passages that demonstrate as a child how he was connected with this divine light, and it helped him see the divine everywhere. And then he says that he lost contact with that divine light. And later in life, he had to engage in a process that he calls unlearning the dirty devices of the world. And so for us, what are the dirty devices of the world? They're simply anything that blocks our connection with that divine light that we are born with. That is the best light that helps us see the universe. And so the dirty devices of the world is just anything that makes me doubt that connection, anything that makes me feel separate from that connection, anything that makes me feel like I'm not good enough or I'm not beloved and supported every single moment of my existence. And so I'm going to read you some of his descriptions. And he lived in what I would call bliss. Bliss wasn't part of his spiritual tradition, so he used the word felicity. And by that, he meant intense spiritual happiness, like continual, ongoing, direct spiritual happiness. And he says, this is our nature. This is what the divine light within each of us would love to unfold so that we see and feel and live in the world in this great felicity, this great bliss that he is talking about. And I just love this. It makes me cry. Your enjoyment of the world is never right till every morning you awake in heaven, see yourself in your Father's palace, and look upon the skies, the earth, and the air as celestial joys, having such a reverend esteem of all as if you were among the angels. Welcome. Thanks for your presence. If you are enjoying this, please like, share, and subscribe. It helps joy and inspiration move forth into the world. You never enjoy the world aright till the sea itself floweth in your veins, till you are clothed with the heavens and crowned with the stars, and perceive yourself to be the sole heir of the whole world, and more than so, because all humans are in it, who are every one sole heirs, as well as you, till you can sing and dance and rejoice in God, as misers do in gold, and kings in scepters. You never enjoy the world. Till your spirit fills the whole world, and the stars are your jewels, till you are as familiar with the ways of God in all ages as with your walk and table, till you are intimately acquainted with that shady nothing out of which the world was made, till you love humans so as to desire their happiness with a thirst equal to the zeal of your own, till you delight in God for being good to all. You never enjoy the world. Till you more than feel the world your private estate and are more present in the hemisphere, considering the glories and the beauties there than in your own house, till you remember how lately you were made and how wonderful it was when you came into it, and more rejoice in the palace of your glory than if it had been made but today morning. So you have been made this very day, today morning, the palace of your glory has been made. And so he's helping us recapture that freshness, that aliveness, that awakeness. And he keeps going. The world is a mirror of infinite beauty, yet no human sees it. It is a temple of majesty, yet no human regards it. It is a region of light and peace, did not humans disquiet it. It is the paradise of God. It is the place of angels and the gate of heaven. When Jacob waked out of his dream, he said, God is here, and I knew it not. This is none other than the house of God and the gate of heaven. And so for each of us to be willing to let go, and he says there's a process of unlearning the dirty devices of the world. Let go of anything that keeps us from remembering. You are that majesty. You are that temple. You have been freshly made this very day. And the creative consciousness that makes the sun and the moon and the stars and the oceans and the air is breathing you into this particular lifetime with majesty and beauty and wisdom and glory and tenderness and strength and kindness and joy and good humor and generosity and gladness and love. And so he's simply saying, remember that divine light we are born with helps us to see the universe in truth and helps us to let go of anything lesser than this vision of divine light and divine connectedness. And you can hear in that passage that I shared with you, he sees all humans as if they are his own self. He rejoices in the happiness of all humans as if it is his own happiness. And so he is realizing, the yogis would say, he's realizing the oneness that is everywhere always. I'll share with you just a couple more passages here. He's talking about his earliest perceptions of the world. And so as you listen, see if you can give yourself this. He's talking about a divine majesty and almost like a divine magic, like the underlying shimmering energy of life that takes form as all of this. And it's in your body. It's in your bones. It's breathing through you. It's beating through your heart. It's the smile. It's the light. It's the laughter. It's the love. It's the caring. It's the connection. It's the kindness. And it's what's real. And so as you listen, enjoy and relish in and adore his descriptions, but also for yourself. Allow yourself to feel, what are the moments, what are the ways in which I connect with this directly? He's talking about his earliest awareness of this divine underlying majesty. What is my earliest awareness of this connectedness that is with and within me always? And then to claim that and live that and trust that and love that and allow that to unfurl through you. Allowing yourself to unlearn anything other than that, coming back to that foundation of the divine light. So he says, I'll skip part of this, but he says, the green trees, when I saw them first, transported and ravished me. Their sweetness and unusual beauty made my heart to leap and almost mad with ecstasy. They were such strange and wonderful things. And then he talks about the dust and stones of the street were as precious as gold. So he's really seeing like the particles of life energy. They're in the smallest grain of sand. And so when you have that awareness, everything is precious. The very existence, the foundation of your being is this preciousness, and it is this divine love. The root of your existence is this divine love. And so then you're able to live in this quiet. He actually chose a quiet, simple life. We know very little about him. I'm going to come back to that in just a second. But one of the reasons why I think we know very little about him was he deliberately chose a quiet, simple life in felicity. He was lacking nothing. The dust and the stones were more precious than gold. He had everything right there. And then he writes down these descriptions. I'll read a couple more of them for you. Boys and girls tumbling in the street and playing were moving jewels. So to just see like the absolute preciousness of every human on the planet, they are a moving jewel. You are a moving jewel. And that's how precious our own heart energy is, our own awareness, our own knowingness, allowing the divine light to know itself through us. And everyone on the planet, equally precious. a jewel. He says, I knew not that they were born or should die, but all things abided eternally as they were in their proper places. Eternity was manifest in the light of the day, and something infinite behind everything appeared, which talked with my expectation and moved my desire. The city seemed to stand in Eden or to be built in heaven. And so he's aware of this vision of, he calls it something infinite behind everything. I would call that pure source energy. Whatever your word for that is, the universal love, that peace, that light, that quiet that comes forth as all of this. He was aware of it, lived this quiet life as a country priest, and wrote this down. 17th century, the manuscript was lost for almost 200 years. This was not published until I think it was 1908 or 1910. And it was recovered in a pile of books that were going to be discarded. This was almost lost. And C.S. Lewis described this. The book is called Centuries of Meditations. C.S. Lewis describes this as almost the most beautiful book written in English. And you can feel it, just the beauty and the majesty. It was almost lost for 200 years. So coming back to this teaching, destiny is in the power of the invisible God and does not go astray. The God is within you, and that God will guide you. And so you can just see like an arrow. He wrote this manuscript in the 17th century, and then it was able to come to light in the 20th century. It was able to be published. It was able to be recognized. People were ready for these descriptions of this felicity, this bliss that was underlying everything. And so for each of us to let go of any doubt and to know and to live, destiny is in the power of the invisible God and does not go astray. That God is within thee. So quickly, I will share another thing that crossed my path this week was a couple of sayings, I'll call them teachings from Harriet Tubman. If you've heard me talk before, you know that I love Harriet Tubman. She was born in Maryland. And according to current scholarly understandings, after she herself escaped, she came back and helped 70 more people escape through the Underground Railroad. And then, during the Civil War, she helped more than 700 people escape in South Carolina. And so just a person of indomitable courage and strength. And here's what she said about that. I just asked God to take care of me. And so for each of us, whatever it is that we are facing, and I don't know if any of you all have been over to the Eastern Shore where she would navigate, but it's very swampy, it's very marshy. It would have taken incredible navigation skills, incredible strength, incredible flexibility and awareness, and she listened to the divine continually. I just asked God to take care of me. So anytime any of us has something that we're navigating and we're like, I'm not sure about the grounds here, it's kind of marshy, I just asked God to take care of me. And that guidance, this is back to that arrow of destiny. It is with you. It is within you. And so trust that light to unfold. Trust that light to show you step by step. This is the next step forward. A couple more teachings from Harriet Tubman. She was born knowing that she was born to be free. And this is the way that she described this. God set the North Star in the heavens. God gave me the strength in my limbs. God meant I should be free. And so she had this deep, direct knowingness about the beauty and the freedom and the goodness of the divine light within her. And then she was willing to take action. And she had to be willing to take action and leave behind what she knew. When she first tried to escape, she did so with a couple of family members who weren't ready, and so they turned around. When she next tried to escape, she had to do it by herself, and she had to sing to her family members to let them know, this is what I'm doing. She wasn't able to tell them, she had to just sing. So she was communicating in song. On her deathbed, she said this, and she was quoting Jesus speaking in John. Jesus is speaking to his students, and she, in her way, is speaking to everyone who loves the human spirit Everyone who loves freedom and justice and mercy and grace and liberation and kindness and gladness and healing. Everyone who loves healing the human structures of ignorance and the human structures of misunderstanding. And this is what she said. She's also speaking not only to her commitment in terms of liberating people from enslavement. And when she's liberating people from enslavement, she's not only liberating the humans who were enslaved, she's also liberating the people who were practicing slavery as well. And so to just think about that, like her compassion reached out to liberate everyone. She understood that this whole system requires liberation. And she also understood that it was possible through living in this light to create heaven on earth, to create a promised land, to go to the promised land. And these are her deathbed words. I go away to prepare a place for you, and where I am, you also may be. And those are the words of a teacher. Those are the words of someone who knows the divine directly and is reaching out a hand and saying, this is not special to me, this is not unique to me, this is not particular to me, this is a human birthright. And so now I'll go back to the very beginning. That divine light wherewith I was born is the best unto this day, wherein I can see the universe. And so to turn within right now and to open your heart, to connect with that light, to know that light, to be that light, to give that light full permission to embody through you and express through you, as it only can embody and can express through you. And so we've been meditating on Thomas Traherne, did it in his way, living a quiet life in the country, living in great felicity. Harriet Tubman did it in her way, living this unimaginably heroic and courageous life. So for each of us, it's simply, how may I allow that invisible God within me, that is my destiny, that energy of spiritual perfection within me, that is my destiny, that energy of kindness, that energy of recognizing that every human on the planet, their happiness matters as much as my own does, because we're one. We are non-separate from one another. Simply allowing that light to unfold day by day and step by step, and always knowing God takes care of me. Thank God, and God bless us all.